Hi, I'm Ben. I'm here to learn English.
And I'm Emma. I'm here to help.
Let's learn together.
Let's learn together. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today, Ben and I are going to talk about something a lot of IELTS learners worry about: what to do to get better at IELTS writing. We'll make this like a speaking practice session, so we'll ask each other IELTS-style questions, give strong answers, and explain what makes them good. Ready, Ben?
Totally ready. And if you're listening, try answering the questions yourself before you hear our answers. Treat it like a real IELTS speaking test.
Great idea. Okay, let's start with a part 3 style question. Ben, what do you think people can do to improve their IELTS writing skills?
Sure. In my opinion, the most useful thing IELTS candidates can do is to practice writing regularly and get feedback on their work. Many students write a lot, but they don't know what they're doing wrong. A teacher or even a study partner can point out repeated mistakes, like weak topic sentences or incorrect grammar. Once students know their problems, they can fix them step by step.
Nice. That answer is really clear. You started with, in my opinion, so your position is obvious. Then you gave 2 actions: practice regularly and get feedback. And you explained why feedback is important. That's exactly what IELTS examiners want: clear idea, support, and examples.
Exactly. Your turn. Emma, same question. What can people do to become better IELTS writers?
I think one of the most effective ways is to read high-band sample essays and analyze how they are written. Students should notice things like paragraph structure, linking words, and how ideas are developed. Another key step is practicing under time pressure, because doing it slowly at home is very different from doing it in the real exam.
That's great. And I really like the word analyze. It sounds academic and natural for this topic.
Yeah, and under time pressure is a strong phrase too. Okay, let's go a little deeper. Why do you think so many students struggle to get a high score in writing task 2?
I think task 2 is difficult because it's not only about English. It's also about thinking clearly. Students need to develop an argument, organize it logically, and give relevant examples. Another reason is that some people memorize templates. They think it will save time, but it often makes their writing unnatural or off-topic, which lowers the score.
Yep, totally. I like that you said it's not only about English. That's a great way to show contrast. And the point about templates is important because examiners really notice memorized writing.
Exactly. What about you? Why do students struggle with task 2?
I'd say a major reason is weak organization. Many students have good ideas, but they don't present them clearly. For example, they might write long paragraphs without a clear topic sentence, or they jump between ideas. Also, some learners don't know the band descriptors, so they don't understand what examiners actually want.
Great point. Band descriptors is a useful term for IELTS learners. And your example about long paragraphs without topic sentences is super realistic.
Thanks. Let's make it practical now. Imagine this is speaking part 2 or part 3. What kind of weekly routine could help a student improve IELTS writing?
A simple routine could be to read 2 high-band essays per week, then write at least one task 1 and one task 2 essay under timed conditions. After that, the student should review their mistakes or ask someone for feedback. I also think rewriting the essay after correction is essential because that's when real learning happens.
That's strong. You gave a clear structure: read, write, review, rewrite. That routine is realistic and also exam-focused.
Yeah. What's your routine suggestion?
I think students should mix full practice with focus practice. For instance, one day they could practice only introductions, another day only body paragraphs, and another day only conclusions. Then once a week, they can write a full essay. This focus method helps people improve faster because they fix one skill at a time.
I love that. It's a great answer because it shows strategy, not just practice more.
Exactly. Let's talk about vocabulary. How important is vocabulary for achieving a high IELTS writing score?
Vocabulary is important, but I think students should focus on accuracy and appropriateness rather than using very advanced words. If you use a rare word incorrectly, it can lower your lexical score. A better approach is to learn topic-related vocabulary and strong collocations, like pose a threat, play a vital role, or a growing concern.
Nice. You used accuracy and appropriateness, which are actually perfect for describing vocabulary in IELTS. And those collocations you gave are exactly the type people should learn.
Right. What would you say?
I agree with you. Vocabulary matters because it helps you express ideas precisely. But many students think they need big words. Instead, they should use clear academic phrases like, it could be argued that, one possible solution is, or this trend is likely to continue. These phrases raise the tone naturally.
Great. Also, you said precisely, and that word itself is a good example of high-quality vocabulary.
True. Okay, grammar time. How important is grammar in IELTS writing, and how can learners improve it?
Grammar is essential mainly because of accuracy. Even if your ideas are good, repeated grammar errors make your writing hard to understand. To improve, students should master simple sentence structures first, then gradually add variety, like conditionals, relative clauses, and passive voice. It's better to write simple, correct sentences than complex, incorrect ones.
That's a really IELTS-friendly answer. Simple correct is better than complex incorrect. That's basically the key rule.
Exactly. Your view.
I think grammar affects both task achievement and coherence because mistakes can confuse the meaning. One effective way to improve is to check your own writing carefully. When you notice a repeated error, like articles or verb tense, you can keep a list and focus on fixing that one issue for a week. Targeted improvement works best.
Nice. Targeted improvement is such a great academic phrase.
Yeah, and it's also true. Let's switch to task 1. What can students do to improve IELTS writing task 1 specifically?
For task 1, the most important skill is learning to write a clear overview. Many students describe every number, but they forget to summarize the main trends, so they should practice looking at a chart and writing 2 overview sentences quickly. They also need data vocabulary like increase, decline, peak, remain stable, and fluctuate.
Exactly. Overview plus data vocabulary equals task 1 success. I'd answer like this. Students should learn how to group information instead of listing details. For example, in a bar chart, they can compare categories and highlight similarities. Another key step is paraphrasing, because task 1 requires you to rewrite the question in your own words for the introduction.
That's great. Grouping and paraphrasing are very high-band skills.
Let's do some quick-fire IELTS-style mini questions. Short answers, but still strong. What is one simple action that immediately improves an IELTS essay?
Planning for 2 minutes before writing. Because if you plan, your ideas are clearer and your paragraphs are more logical.
Nice. Mine, writing clear topic sentences for every paragraph, because they guide the reader and improve coherence.
Good. Another one. What mistakes should students avoid to get a higher writing score?
They should avoid memorized templates and unnatural phrases, because examiners can spot them and they often don't match the question.
They should avoid overlong sentences, because longer sentences usually lead to grammar mistakes and unclear meaning.
Great. Let's add a more reflective part 3 question. Do you think improving writing skills helps people in real life, not just in IELTS?
Definitely. Writing teaches people how to organize their thoughts logically. That skill is useful at university and at work, especially for writing emails, reports, or research. Even beyond that, if you can write clearly, you can think more clearly.
That's such a good point. I'd say yes, because good writing improves communication. It helps you express opinions politely, argue your point professionally, and avoid misunderstandings. These skills are valuable in almost every career, not just academic life.
Totally. Okay, now let's kind of coach the listeners step by step. Like if you had to give a student a complete improvement plan in simple terms, what would you include?
I'd say read high band samples weekly, write under timed conditions, get feedback, rewrite corrected essays, learn vocabulary by topic, focus on simple, accurate grammar first, always plan before writing.
That's a full plan. And I'd add a few more. 8. Practice individual parts like introductions and body paragraphs. 9. Build a habit of checking your grammar and spelling. 10. Learn how to write quick overviews for task 1.
If someone follows that list, they'll almost definitely go up at least one band.
Yeah, the biggest difference between a Band 5 and Band 7 writer is not intelligence, it's method and consistency.
Exactly.
Okay, before we finish, let's model one more classic IELTS Speaking Part 3 question. Some people say writing is harder than speaking in IELTS. Do you agree?
I think writing is harder for many students because it requires accuracy, formal style, and organization at the same time. In speaking, you can correct yourself or rephrase, but in writing, mistakes stay on the page. Also, writing under time pressure feels stressful, especially when you need to develop ideas quickly.
Great answer. I agree too. Writing often feels more difficult because you have to be precise and structured. In speaking, you can use body language or tone to help meaning, but in writing, everything depends on clear words. However, with practice, writing can become more predictable and manageable than speaking.
Nice balance there. You agreed, but also gave a soft contrast.
Yeah, IELTS loves balanced thinking.
Okay, last thing. If you're listening and you want a quick takeaway, here it is. IELTS writing improves fastest when you do 3 things: practice, get feedback, and rewrite.
Exactly. And don't forget to read good samples. You can't improve your writing if you don't know what strong writing looks like.
All right, that's it for today. We hope this gave you solid ideas and also useful IELTS-style speaking practice.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Keep writing, keep improving.